What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Timon's podcast. I'm your host, Timon, and this is the podcast, most talked about podcast in Goshen. I'm going to claim that. I'm going to name it and claim it. Guys, I have a great guest here today, DJ from Concrete Barber. What's up, DJ?
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a good Monday. We're not working today, so that's nice.
Yeah, it's way too early. Time change got us. It got us so bad. Yeah, this is a week before we'll post this, but yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, yesterday I woke up at 8:30, and I was like, man, did I really sleep in at 8:30?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's all right. We lost an hour.
Yeah, I definitely did not stay up too late to watch the time change happen on my clock in real time. I definitely had that happen. Sunday night, I was up like at 2 a.m. and then I look, it was 1:50, and then I look, and then it's 3 o'clock. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It sucked. It sucked to watch that happen in real time. I'm too old for this. Why am I doing this?
Amber did the same thing. She was up for one reason or the other, and she said she watched it for the first time this weekend also, and it was crazy.
They literally steal an hour like that across the globe, just
gone.
Yeah, just gone. I'm like, this is wild. Yeah, it's better for us though. We're going to be better humans because the hour is gone. We're going to be happier. You're going to be a better person. That's what I'm telling myself, at least.
Yeah, we've gotten stronger because of it.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, well, thank you so much for coming on. I think what's the best way to start this? You just reached out. You said, hey, people are talking about the podcast at the barbershop. I'd love to come on. Like, dude, let's do this.
Yep.
And I have I've come and got my hair cut from you a couple times, and then I have a mutual friend. We have a mutual friend, Scott, who's been on the podcast multiple times. He's like, dude, you need to get DJ on. And so the stars aligned.
Here we are on this snowy Monday morning in March.
Yeah. So, dude, well, first off, let's just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, what your company is, all that fun stuff.
Okay, I'm Daniel DJ Lepper, and I am the Concrete Barber, or I guess self-proclaimed that's what I am. But my wife Amber and I run the Concrete Barber, and that's our family business.
Yeah.
It's a family affair. Our Natalie, our oldest daughter Natalie, is our IT person. Whenever we need help with a computer we don't know,
she's the one that does it.
She's the one. Amber does the books and the scheduling, the accounting.
That's cool.
I hang out in the barbershop and do all the fun stuff.
Cut the hair and yeah.
Cut the hair and be goofy.
Yeah. Remodel the place. That's what I've been watching you guys do recently.
Yeah. We've been making some changes, so
yeah,
that's been cool.
That's cool. Well, I know, when did you first start? When did you open up a barbershop? Because when I first interacted with you, you were over by the Mel and Mel and the taco place. I'm talking New Image or Sharper Image or something like that.
Yeah, New Image.
Yeah.
So that was in June of 2017.
Wow.
Is when I started in there.
Okay.
And then in March of 21, we moved downstairs below Common Spirits.
Yeah, that's a cool little spot.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
And then in January 1st of 23, we moved into the old Scott's Barbershop.
Wow. Yeah, different locations, but all kind of downtown, which is kind of cool. All, right there. Scott's is that's been around since I grew up in Goshen. I remember being like in high school, 12, 15 years ago and seeing that place. I think that's been a staple for a while. That barbershop has been like that prime spot for a long time.
Yeah, it has been. I went there with my grandpa.
No way.
To get my hair cut there, like early in the morning. It would have been in the early 90s and during the 90s.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. So Scott no longer, he just kind of closed, he was done. I'm retired maybe, or?
Yeah, Scott Sr. I think he had retired like in the late 2000s. Yeah. Middle 2000s at some point, and then his son had ran it for a while. And then there'd been some different people in and out of there, keeping it going and putting a lot of effort into it, and holding it together. Yeah. And at late last year, they approached me and had to help them take it over and keep it going. So
that's cool. Is it now? It's no longer Scott's, right? It's DJ.
Yeah, I just left the barbershop name up there. And
the little swirl thing.
Yeah, the barber pole up there.
Yeah.
And it's just the Concrete Barber, and moved it over on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Which basically.
Yeah, right across the street, basically. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool. When did you, I mean, I saw your story. It's on Twitter, which is great. That's a great thread that you have as your pinned tweet.
Okay.
Thank
about
you. Your whole kind of experience and journey into barbershop, and almost like a life story, really, that you condensed into, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 tweets or however it was to get it together. But yeah, why don't you kind of explain kind of how you got to cutting hair?
Okay. Well, it's something I never thought I would do.
Yeah.
It was never even on my radar. And the first time it became a possibility to me was when we were getting ready for a deployment to Afghanistan in 2010.
Oh, wow.
A friend of mine had just gotten done with barber school. Tim Harrigan is his name.
Yeah.
And he cut everybody's hair the whole deployment and kind of ran this little barber shop within our platoon, because our only option was to go to the PX barber, like on base.
Yeah.
And waste your weekend waiting in line.
Yeah.
Or work out a deal for your buddy to cut your hair in the barracks.
Yeah.
And I just kind of admired that, and I was like, man, that's so cool. And I thought, how did you become a barber? How did you get to do this? He's like, well, I just went to school.
Oh, wow.
Like that you just can go to school. I always thought you had your grandpa or
Right.
you had to be born into it. It's like a family business.
Yeah. They pass the shears on to the next, or the clippers onto the next one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's the first time my mind saw something like that as a possibility. And then that kind of planted the seed, and yeah. So from there, I kind of put it in my back pocket and said, all right, if I ever stop pouring concrete, because in that moment in 2010, I loved doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
Pouring concrete.
This is after deployment. This was back when you were doing this while you were in deployment as well.
The haircuts?
No, the concrete.
Yeah, yes, to a degree.
Okay.
Because we were combat engineers, and part of our job was concrete.
Oh, interesting.
So we did some concrete work there, but that wasn't the focus of our deployment.
Okay.
But yeah, so when I came back, I was in the Marine Reserve, so I had a full-time job for Bender's Construction pouring concrete.
Gotcha.
I guess I should back up a little bit. Before we went to Afghanistan, I had been pouring concrete.
Oh, even before. Okay.
Yes.
It's kind of like a summer job, or
Yeah.
maybe.
I graduated high school in 2003.
Okay.
Okay, we'll
go even back farther.
We'll go all the way back. We'll put the concrete in it first before the barber. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I'd watched 9/11 happen in school.
Yeah.
And I was pretty patriotic about that, and decided to go into the service. Went into the Marine Reserves, and when I came home, I got a job pouring concrete.
Wow.
For Bender's Construction as like a summer job.
Yeah.
And it just stayed.
Yeah.
For 15 years.
Yeah.
So I would pour concrete full time, and then 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year, I would go.
Yeah.
Do Marine Reserve duty.
Mm-hmm. Training and whatever I have a friend who's in the Marine Reserves, and they do the same thing. Training all the time. Or 1 week they're doing stuff, 2 weeks they're doing training, and
yep. And it's usually the most inconvenient weekend of the month when everybody's doing something that you want to go do.
You scheduled it, and then it's like,
it's like, no, I got to go to drill.
Yeah,
it's over with. So yeah, but that was a lot of fun. We got to go during that time. We got to go to Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, cool.
Panama.
Some other spot,
yeah, some other spots.
Caribbean spot.
Yeah. And we built some schools and did some charity work, and
that's cool.
And yeah, got to go a lot of different places and get some good training. In 2006, I went to Iraq.
Oh wow!
And then
were you there for a while?
7 months.
Oh my word!
Both deployments were 7 months.
Wow.
There.
I kind of told you I was just on vacation. I was on vacation at 29 Palms, California. Were you? Do you know where that's at? Or?
Yeah. We did our our effects there before our Afghanistan deployment.
No way.
Yeah.
So I was visiting the Marine that's in the reserves, and that's where he lives. And I'd never been there, and I get there, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is a Marine town.
Yeah,
it's
like
just
that's
all, it. Yeah, it's the safest I've ever felt in California.
It's crazy. Yeah, nothing's happening there.
More guns and knives and 29 Palms than all California.
That's right. Absolutely.
But that was it was cool because when I was there, he was explaining to me this is the most Iraq or Afghanistan like conditions in the United States, and so that's why they train there, so that when you go and deploy, you're like, oh, I'm at home.
Yeah.
You know. And he said when he deployed, it was like he felt like they just put a blindfold on him, spun him 3 times, and pulled the blindfold off, and he was in.
Like, hey, you're here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So,
that's crazy.
so did you get on base and got to like kind of explore a little bit? And
They live off base. They offered me to go on base, but I was more interested in Joshua Tree. So
Okay.
I was just like rock climbing and out in the
fun
sun.
stuff.
Yeah, it was very cool. I am interested in getting a camper van and just living there for a couple months, especially with the snow that we got this morning. I'm like, it'd be sick to be
I know.
out in the desert.
It's no good.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry. So, pouring concrete. You deployed.
Yep.
7 months, and So what happens after that?
Then we come home, and then that was in 2007.
Okay.
Keep pouring concrete.
Yeah.
And then 2009, we would go to Afghanistan,
Wow.
and I get this barber idea.
That's where you got it. Okay, because you saw him do the haircuts at that point, and you're like, okay, maybe
Yeah.
that could be in.
Yeah, because I watched this dude basically hustle all these people for haircuts.
It's a skill.
And I'm like, well, hold up. Okay.
Yeah, I could do this.
Yeah, he's getting paid to hang out with his homies, and that looks like a lot more fun than being outside in the weather.
Yeah, and all of his friends were probably very grateful that they didn't have to go and stand in line for a couple hours to get a haircut, and they probably, there's something to that, like, you're hustling them, but you're also improving their lives.
Yep.
As well. It's like a mutual. You can see that mutual right there. So,
It works.
yeah, and it works.
And if the environment's right, it's magical.
Yeah. So you got that idea. Then you come back, I'm guessing, back home?
Yep.
At that point?
Come back home and back to pouring concrete.
Yeah.
And by that time, I think I turned 30 and started feeling a little bit older, and the weather was a little bit colder. And I never enjoyed from day one the cold weather.
Yeah.
And to this day, I don't. It's like what it is. And so it really started making me think about it. And I looked. Well, yeah. Also, so during that time, I had been married. So I was married in 2006, divorced in 2010, 11 sometime. So there's that going on.
Yeah.
And so after that, I started actually looking into barber school. And the only school I could find was in Fort Wayne.
Mm.
And I didn't have enough of the belief yet. So I just never, I found reasons why it wouldn't work.
Right.
And I kept just doing what I was doing and living.
Yeah. Existing.
Yeah, existing because, I don't know, I was like of the world, I guess, and didn't think outside the box and didn't really have any belief outside of what the systematic life that I lived to this point led me to. And then in like 2014, I kind of say I went through my midlife crisis, it feels like. And I said, I'm going to figure out this. It was 1 October and the weather was just terrible outside and we were pouring concrete. And I said,
I'm done with this.
I'm done with this. And it's something that I thought about. I'm like, okay, you're 32, 33. You work for a family business and you're not family.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can either keep doing this, and that's just, you take your chances, whatever happens with the family, or you go find another job pouring concrete with a different crew, and you're the new guy at 35, 40.
Bottom of the row. I mean, you got experience, but yeah.
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 It's a jungle, so you got to prove yourself.
Yeah.
And I didn't like those. I was like, or you take the effort to figure out how to do this barber thing that you've been curious about. So then I actually started putting the effort into it.
Wow.
And so early through 2015, I figured out that I could go. I was eligible for the post 9/11 GI Bill through my deployments.
Oh, nice.
And that would pay for the barber school tuition, like I think 90% of it.
Wow.
And then I would get a stipend for like living expenses while I was in school. And that made the difference of what I needed to take off of work to get to school.
No way.
Yeah.
So it worked out. It was just like a real, this is going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like people talk about navigating the VA and navigating government programs.
Yeah.
Like it takes time and effort.
Yeah.
Yes, but if you get intentional,
it will work.
It will work.
Yeah. It just isn't going to happen like smooth butter, right? It's like you have to really probably knock down doors, be, focused to get it to. It's a slow moving machine.
Yeah.
You got to be over there cranking those wheels to make it.
Yeah, exactly.
Poking at it, right?
And if you're trying to get the government to pay something for you, they're not going to just hand you money.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody does that.
Yeah.
Or else everyone would get that. So it's just like you have to get your mindset to, I'm going to work at this as I am going to work at my job for a paycheck. And so I navigated that system, and I got to the point where I needed to work 32 hours a week at Bender's, and then I could drive to Fort Wayne every day.
Gotcha.
5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And
through school. Which is a couple hours, I'm assuming.
It was like an hour and 15 minutes one way.
Oh, gosh.
Stellhorn and Laymeyer, the intersection of it was Ravenscroft Beauty College.
Okay.
The barber school there.
Yeah. Is it still going?
Still going, I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
So then I had to, I went to Levon and said, hey, I'm either going to have to quit and find a different job because I'm going to go do this barber thing. And maybe I could get a job in Fort Wayne or whatever just to make it work.
Yeah.
And he said, well, if you come and work in the mornings, you can leave at like around noon.
Oh, wow.
Because by that point, we don't need as many guys because the concrete's usually poured.
Right.
And you need less people to finish. But you have to drive to every job site.
And then you would leave from there. Because I'm sure you would drive to Bender's Construction and then go to the job site, right? That's typically how it.
Yeah, I would follow them to whatever job they were going, or if they told me, like if we were working close to Fort Wayne, they would say, "Hey, we're working there," and I would drive, pack my stuff for the day. And then I had an aunt and uncle that lived in Fort Wayne, so I could go to their house and shower and clean up between school.
Oh my word!
Yeah, so
that's a grind. So you were really grinding then.
Yeah,
that was the pedal to the metal at that point, I'm sure, or in some ways, just like I'm gonna figure this out. This is gonna happen. This is the tough start.
Yep.
This is the
So I set all that up through 2015, and started school in December of 15, barber school, and started that grind, that schedule. Yeah.
And that takes, how long did that take to complete?
It took me 18 months.
Okay. Wow.
It's 1,500 hours. So you go to school and you clock in, and then you start racking up hours. And I would go, they would let you go to school an hour early every day. And I would go to that school an hour early every day. So every week I was making up 5 hours.
Wow. Just to get that in.
Yep.
Yeah. To get in and be done in 18 months.
Yes.
Oh my word. What other profession do you have to do 15 hours before you can do something? I'm like, I don't know. There probably is, right? But I can't off the top of my head. Yeah.
And I understand the idea of school, but I think there could be different of barber school. I think there'd be it could be situated differently.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of a high, you have to be in to do it. 1,500 hours is a big chunk of time. To be
right.
Like, I'm going to be, So if you have to be committed to do it, which is interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's regulation, and it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But
just how it goes. Wow. So you do that. So 18 months from 2015. So it was like 2016 or the end of 2016 when you were? I
started barber school in December of 2015.
Oh, wow. So it was like early 2017.
And then I went, so then I went through, like May of 17, I was done.
Wow.
And then June 1st, I started. June or July 1st, I started in New Image.
Wow. That's just a month or two later, and then you're boom into that. So you're working concrete that whole time, off and on, right? You have 32 hours concrete, going to school, and then when was your last day at concrete?
My last day of concrete wouldn't have been for another 18 months.
Yeah.
So then when I started Yeah, so my daily schedule is 6 a.m. concrete, noon off, go home, clean up, leave for Fort Wayne at 2, be in class from 4 to 9, drive home.
My gosh, an hour and 15 minutes or
Yeah, so
whatever.
like 10:15, 10:30 you're home.
Pass out, wake up, repeat.
Yeah. Another 2 or 3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the road. Yeah. And the fun thing too, so I was a bachelor at that time, and I had this little fox terrier, miniature fox terrier. That was my dog, right?
Yeah.
So what am I supposed to do with this dog? I'm like, well, I guess you're a road dog now, dude. So he would come with me to the job sites.
No way.
Yeah, and I had like a food bowl and a water bowl and his toys.
Yeah.
And at some jobs that we could let him out, we'd let him out and play with him. And if I could I'd take him for walks when I could.
Yeah.
Leave the windows open, and he would just chill in there. And I had a electric heating blanket for him.
Yeah.
I would take him to school with me.
Oh, he was pampered.
Yeah, he just hung out with me everywhere, and because that's just what I had to do. Yeah.
Does he ever come into the barbershop now? Or?
No, he passed away in February of 18.
Oh,
so
yeah.
And not that that's a relief, but we had a baby.
Oh,
and then he's kind of like, "Hey, I'm out."
Yeah. You're like, nice. Okay.
Yep. All right, Gunner. We'll see ya.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so then my last day of concrete I worked at New Image. All right. I poured concrete 5 days a week, and then I would cut hair in the evenings on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, wow.
And I started that like 4 hours,
Yeah.
12 hours a week cutting hair. And as those hours got booked, I would add more haircuts and take more time off of concrete.
Yeah, slowly transition over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't justify the time away from concrete to go sit in an empty barber
Just
shop.
wait. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so knowing I wanted to be a barber, and I wasn't able to do that until I built a clientele, motivated me to build a clientele and figure out those ways and just make it happen. And just as it grew over 18 months, then in December of 18.
That's when you made the jump.
Yeah, at the Christmas party, at the Bender's Christmas party, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to try to make this haircut thing work.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, I'll see you in March to keep pouring concrete.
Yeah.
And if it works, then
wait till it's warmer.
yeah, exactly. Because most winters we didn't work.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, because the ground's so hard. I mean, how can you pour concrete?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so that was a good time to try it.
Yeah.
And Amber thought I was crazy doing it right before the Christmas and the holidays. Yeah. And I thought that was the perfect time because everybody needs a haircut during the holidays.
Right.
So
why not cash in on this right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Take a chance at the opportunity of somebody giving the new guy a chance because they have no other option, right?
Yeah, and there's everyone else is booked, so I have to. Yeah, I gotta get my haircut before I
right.
see Grandma.
If I nail some of them.
Yeah, exactly. So then you made the leap.
It worked.
And it worked. Yeah, that's wild. And then now you're on this. Okay, so then you start, and we kind of talked about that. You're there, and then you moved to underneath Common Spirits, and now you have your own spot, and you've just grown since then. So what is that now? 5 years? Almost 5 years of.
Yeah, this July. I guess this July will be 6 years.
6. Wow. Yeah, you've just grown this since then. What's that like?
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Like the time flies, because in 2017 we had we started the barbershop in June, had a baby in November. And actually Amber and I got married in January 1st of 2017.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so in 2017 we got married, started a barbershop, and had a baby.
Oh, wow.
In the calendar year. And yeah, so that life has just been crazy.
Yeah. That was a kickoff to a new season.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Completely.
Season 1's done, season 2 started, let's go.
Yep.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, and with that also, I married into a blended family. So Amber has 3 older kids.
Oh, wow.
Natalie, and she's a senior at nursing school over at IUSB.
Oh, very cool.
There's Nathan here that's local, and then Jason that's also here local over in South Bend. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then now you're trying to figure out, that's a new thing to navigate as well.
Yeah.
Like
from bachelor with a dog on the road going to barber school to house with 3 teenagers at the time.
Right. The little one on the way now.
And a little one on the way.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just in being a barber, and totally shift of like working too, like how you were working to, now this is your own business.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not a 9 to 5. What's going to be coming in, money's going to be rolling in. It's kind of like, all right, I'm now, this is me. I have to do this.
Yeah.
In a way.
And that's like, it's exactly what I wanted.
Really?
Yeah. I like chaos. And I think that was the fun of pouring concrete and doing commercial concrete was the bigness and a lot going on. And I wanted, I watched my grandpa run his own business and work for himself and do those things.
Yeah.
And that seed has always just been in me.
Yeah.
And so to have that and to start living it, it's been a lot of fun, and to have, I guess, the freedom to say, hey, Timon, when do I want to come?
Yeah.
Podcast Monday. Okay. Let's do it.
There's the flexibility to do. Yeah. You run at your own schedule. You're literally creating your life. How you want it to. Yeah. That's wild. I think one of the things I remember talking to you, because I've come and gotten a haircut from you, and you really love the business side of running your business and how to reach out to more people. How to, I remember you said, if you tell someone about me and they come in and mention your name, you have a way of doing almost a marketing, a referral, all this stuff that you've we're working through and trying to figure out, and it's cool to see. I mean, you're dialing it in too. I feel like you're always booked, not always, but it feels like you're booked a lot. When there's times when my barber can't cut my hair, so I look at you and it's like 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out. I'm like, oh man, that's yeah.
Yeah, we're fortunate that way. It's we're as busy as we want to be.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing with my wife, Amber, being able to
help out with that.
Yeah. She does the scheduling. She sets the appointments. Yeah. We've got I don't know, over 50 people on a repeating schedule.
Oh, wow.
Between 2 and 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So it just makes life really easy to
structure it. And
yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what you want, is those people who always come in, the regulars, that's that building that book of business you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And I do like running the business side of it. And it is a lot of fun to build the business and see what is possible, because that's the only way, I guess that's the natural way to me.
Yeah.
I always thought marketing was fun, and I took a marketing class in high school. And from that class, I didn't really get a good taste of marketing, so I never really pursued it.
Yeah.
And now that I'm here in a way that, especially with social media, it's fun and easy to just play with all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm realizing how much I enjoy doing that. And that's the fact that it worked to build a barbershop locally here in Goshen. It's okay, let's just have fun doing this in other ways. And I think it annoys Amber a lot of ways, because I always have all these different ideas of things I want to try, and because now I just see opportunities.
Right. Yeah. If I do this might actually get in front of these people and this thing and that. Right. Let's see if I can try this. And
yeah. Or even saying, hey, Amber, we need to have this in the barbershop, or we need to try doing this way.
Yeah.
And it's,
that's so cool.
I don't know. I follow my man Gary Vee quite a bit, and so he's got a big influence in my life, and he's given me a lot of perspective. And now, listening for Tim's 6 or 7 years, it's interesting to go back and see things I listened to before and I never caught.
Right. It didn't resonate at that point.
Yeah. And now I hear it and it hits totally different.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm at a different place, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, this is easy. It's making videos and just talking and getting to a level of comfort and
just being able to be on screen and just chatting. And that's the one thing you post a ton on social media. I love how you engage with people. I remember talking to you about, you were thinking about doing a podcast at one point in the barber chair, mic the person up that you're cutting, and you mic up and you just chat. And you've kind of done that sometimes with just having a video there where you speed it up and you show the time lapse of it. You put a really cool, the ways that you're marketing, you're showing your craft, You're showing your barbershop. You're showing the atmosphere. You're showing who you are, which makes people more comfortable when they first come in because they saw, oh, this is how it goes. I mean, it's cool how you're producing content to reach out, and I think that's I think people appreciate that, and I'm sure you hear that all the time, or even new people when they come, they're like, I saw this video.
Yeah.
That's like feedback for you, like, oh, that video's working, or this is working, or whatnot.
Yeah, and that's where it's really hard for me to get in touch with my creative side, and I've finally heard, like Gary say, you've got to create stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
And that you like. And this year, I don't know, the past 6 months, I've been listening to the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. Okay. And that's been really resonating with me. And I'm just trying to work on myself.
Yeah.
We're all trying to get a little bit better.
Yeah.
And the first part of this barber journey, I didn't really document any of that because of my judgment of other people doing it.
Yeah.
And
people judging you because you weren't good enough at that point or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
But how crazy would it be to see your first cut, and then 10 years later,
right?
Like that would be so cool to see that.
And I've got some pictures here and there, but to like actually do it the way that I'm doing it now, and the only difference is my perception, of myself, right?
How wild's that?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's where, like, this book is really resonating with me, the Stoicism book. And it's funny because a girl one time told me that I was really, you don't have to be so stoic about everything. And at the time, I didn't know what that meant. And she said it condescending, so it was meant as an insult.
Right.
But now I'm reading this book, and I'm like, well, yeah, I am just pretty stoic about a lot of things. And I align with these thoughts, and that motivates me and pushes me.
Yeah.
So I just want to share it with the world. And that was a natural way to do it, because if I don't create every day, then it's like working out. I won't.
Yeah, you won't do it. You'll forget for a couple weeks.
Right.
And then you're like, oh man, I need to get back to the gym, post another video or whatever.
Yeah, and if I'm always trying to post a trend, that's never going to be natural.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of what you want to post.
Yeah.
I think, I was watching you guys put up the new ceiling in your place, and it looked like there was multiple things didn't go as planned, at all, and so, and the duct cleaning, I actually really enjoyed that video too, seeing what your air ducts looked like before and after at the end of that video. I'm like, that's why I watched that. That was so good.
It was nuts, right?
Yeah, it was nasty.
Crazy. Like you can actually hear the air moving now.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's cool. The ceiling project's been it was a lot. It wasn't necessarily planned that way. It just happened, and
but that's you creating content. You're a barber, you shouldn't be showing that you're doing it with the shop. People appreciate that.
Yeah,
it's the you creating your own content how you want to. This is what I'm doing. This is how I feel authentic. Look at what's happening in the barbershop, and yeah, I think that's the atmosphere. Even though it's not a cut and it's flashy and the latest trend, people are like, oh yeah, that's what's happening at the barbershop. When I go in, I can talk to them about it. I can see it.
Yeah. Like I realized a lot of my anxiety from being a barber was coming from trying to fit inside the barber world.
Yeah. You don't have a beard or a mustache.
No, like
your hair doesn't floop in the front. I don't
No, I'm like Goshen, right? Who do I serve? I serve blue collar, generally working people.
Yeah.
Or people that don't want the hard hairlines and a lot of those things that are cool and trendy in the haircut world. So even like finding myself as a barber saying, hang on, I'm the Concrete Barber, and people want functional haircuts and they want their time to come in and out is more important than some of those things that I could do if I would take the time to learn. But to me, I didn't see the return, and I'd rather build a quality relationship over time period. For like a functional haircut. And so like just finding that gave me a lot of peace to now back to, and I heard Gary now finally say, like, you can just document what you're doing, and having my daughter and starting to go, wait a minute, my mom did creative memories. I don't know if you know remember those. They were like a scrapbook.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And they had like cutout stamps and different stickers, and they would create cool memories.
Yeah.
And it's that Instagram and all these socials and this ability to create short content is our version of that. So if I document this for my daughter and for whoever else that wants to see it in 10 years, it's here.
Yeah. And then go back and watch it all.
Yes.
See all the stuff. See the progression.
Right. And even for, like, we all take pictures, right? And then where do they end up? In some big folder, and we never go through them and find those memories.
Yeah.
But if we go to the socials and look at maybe a collage or a short little video of each thing, like the time we took the ceiling out.
Yeah.
We watch the videos and we're like, okay, that's where we were at.
Yeah.
And I think it really captures those things. And it's been fun to just create that now without the expectation of anything other than just documenting it.
That's cool. Yeah. Instagram is a scrapbook. It literally is.
All of it.
It's wild. I mean, the memes, maybe not so much, but
right.
Yeah, but still, no. That is really cool, and it is, you're documenting your journey, and you can see that. That is really a cool way. We are living in a different world now. It's fascinating. Like, that's how I feel with the podcast. Like, I'm documenting. I do podcasts with my dad where we talk about just weird stuff, but I'm getting his ideas, and I have them recorded. And so my kids and grandkids, if they want to, can listen and be like, oh, that's what Grandpa.
Right.
And he was crazy, but he was such a good crazy. And here you're listening to his voice. I had a buddy who passed away, and I had podcasted 4 hours or 6 hours with him. And so I was able to clip all of these, like, things he said about his family and all that stuff, and able to make a sound file and give that to the family at the funeral. It was just like, that's crazy. It was wild. And you don't know that's going to happen, but you're literally documenting their voice, their story, their thoughts, their expressions. You know, it's
much more intimate, and it's a tangible memory more than a picture.
Yeah.
Because your mind distorts the memories from the pictures that it recreates from that. But the words are the words.
Yeah. And it's cool because, I mean, you can do that with Instagram as well. I mean, you have those, you know, when you leave, let's say, 20, 30 years, when you leave the Scott shop, that's now, you know, Concrete Barber. That's what it is, right? Yeah. We're not calling it Scott's anymore.
Hey,
it's gone.
It's the old Scott's.
It's the old Scott's. Yeah. But if you leave that and go somewhere else, you'll have, you know, the progression of those memories. You're right. It's that scrapbook that this is how we were feeling at this time. This is the stuff we were going through, and I have it documented here to come back and look at in the future.
Yep.
If I want. That's such a cool thing. Yeah.
And if somebody outside of Goshen that maybe never will physically come into the shop takes away some kind of belief, because we're like, wait a minute, look at this dude that just poured concrete and did this, and he's only an average barber. I can actually cut hair better than he can, and I can do all this stuff better than him, and they do it.
Yeah.
Then that's where, like, that changes the world to a better place. Yeah. To me,
I know that is cool, and that's the way you reach out past local.
Right.
Is your social media, which is cool, and I'm sure you're starting to see the analytics, you see how it gets to all those people. Yeah, dude. Well, I'll kind of switch over if that's cool. I kind of want to talk a little bit about crypto, because you were one of, in your marketing, in the way you're reaching out to people, you did a really unique thing, which I thought was you did your own NFT. You want to kind of talk about how that whole process came out and what that is, what that looked like?
So because of the barbershop, so a friend, somebody that had come in had talked to me about crypto, and it's something I'd been aware of, but never really put some thought into. And he was the first person that was doing it. I'm like, hold up. Okay, this dude can do it, right? Well, this dude can do it.
I could do it.
I can do it.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing it wrong, he's already doing it. So in 2 weeks, he'll be back in. I'm like, hey, dude, how do I do this part? Right? That's the joy of the barbershop. It's like ask the audience all the time.
Yeah. Feedback all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And so then so he kind of helped me get going, and that was fun to me. And I started, like, actually understanding what blockchain is and how it worked, and what all these cryptos were different blockchains. And then do you know Evan Atkinson?
Don't know.
Okay, so he's a friend of mine that I've known over the years. So met him as a front desk guy at the gym at Eastlake. I don't know,
cool.
10 years ago. So he said, hey, there's a thing called NBA Top Shot. It's like crypto basketball cards.
Yeah.
Kind of like these NFTs. And so I started looking into that, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like this. And that made me start to understand like what blockchain could do with collectibles. And at that time, I was doing baseball cards, trying to get back into the baseball card game and flipping them and doing that.
Yeah.
And I hated
crazy during COVID. The baseball cards. I remember they just were like, I mean, Scott, who we're a mutual friend, he does. I think he might do baseball and basketball, but he was showing me the cards that he was trading and selling and the prices and the graphs and all that stuff at that. This was 2021 maybe when I was watching that.
Yeah, and it was me trying to be the business person.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a business out of it. Well, that takes time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got an infant barber shop also. I don't have time to build a baseball card empire.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but these Top Shots, I said, wait a minute, this takes out the shipping. I don't have to go to the post office.
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge chunk of the time and the learning curve because I understand how the cryptocurrencies and the blockchain exchanges. So that took over my attention and really got me into the NFT
very cool
side of things. And then listening to Gary, he started talking about the functionality of NFTs and what they could be used for. And then he got his collection in May of, I think, 21 and dropped it. And I said, well, man, I don't want to go to a festival, so I can't justify spending this money on the festival after doing my research on it. So I didn't, and I passed a little bit. And I just watched what they could do. And I started thinking, after hearing his words, all right, how could I incorporate this technology into the barbershop?
Yeah.
And Gary says that they can be used as tickets and vouchers. And so I said, I wonder if I could make a haircut gift certificate for unlimited haircuts in NFT form.
Yeah.
And, well, I did that.
Yeah. Did you take photos of, like, were those the first photos? Because I saw this on Twitter. I thought it was so cool because you literally had a picture which you could buy, which was your NFT, and there's only so many that you minted. So, and then the person who purchased those, was it like 1.3 ETH or something like that? I forget what it was. A couple ETH.
Yeah.
You have it. So, and then if they want to sell it, they could pass it to the next person. So it was like, you have unlimited haircuts, but then if you are like, all right, I actually want to pass this to someone else, you can do it. I thought maybe you could.
Absolutely.
You could sell it to the next person. So you weren't locked into unlimited haircuts for the rest of your life. With Concrete, you could get in and out depending on the want of it, the desire of it, the cost of it.
The token is the thing that holds the haircuts, not the person
who purchased it. Right. Yeah,
right.
It's the actual NFT that you created. That is, yeah.
And so it's so what they were pictures. I've always liked photography.
Yeah.
And so around job sites, if something seemed artistic to me, I would take a picture of it.
Oh, very cool.
So just through my camera roll, I had a bunch of pictures of job sites, and I was looking for, like I guess I'm not a creative person, so I'm not drawing NFTs, and I said I'll just throw these different job site pictures up here because they're cool and meaningful to me in different ways.
Right. Yeah, and Concrete Barber, right? It adds to the level of what you do and your past and history, and
yeah. And as I have conversations with people at the barbershop, a lot of people would laugh about it and just dismiss it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to prove some of those people wrong.
Yeah.
Or I guess right. I wanted to know one way or the other.
Yeah.
So on OpenSea's storefront, they had create your NFT. So one Saturday night when I had some time, I just started down that rabbit hole, and a couple hours later, I had an NFT.
That's wild
project. And so I sold. My initial intent was to sell them only in Ethereum because I wanted other people to learn how to navigate blockchain.
Yeah.
Because if I was going to give them haircuts forever, I wanted them to have to work a little bit for it.
Yeah.
Right. And so that worked well because the first person bought it and they put their speed of their transaction, which is called gas on the Ethereum blockchain.
Yeah.
They put that at a very low cost. So the transaction took almost 24 hours to go through.
Gotcha.
And that was a good learning opportunity for both of us to know how the system works.
Yeah.
And how to navigate it better next time.
Gotcha.
So it worked in that way. But then after that, I realized that was just a lot of work for people. And it was asking too much of them.
Yeah.
And just recently I heard this perspective of like, people don't care how an airplane works. They just care that they go from
point A to point B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, duh.
Yeah.
If people want a haircut NFT and I want the crypto, I should just onboard them the easiest way possible.
Yeah.
And I'll get the crypto on the backside.
Yeah.
So I'm working on a season 2 now because I wanted to take the OpenSea storefront edition is only on OpenSea.
Oh,
and,
gotcha.
and there's another a website like manifold.xyz where people can create their own projects and their own NFTs. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play around with that and learn that. So I made another edition, like a season 2, and I'm figuring out if I'm going to offer those.
Yeah. Will it be in different? It won't just be ETH. It'll be, I'm guessing, other.
No, I'm just going to sell them in dollars.
Dollars. Oh, nice. Okay, so then people can, and then it'll translate to crypto for you in the back end, or you can just
Whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And it's kind of investing too, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like at the time when you released it, ETH was at a certain level, right? And now it's probably at a different level. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and like part of the fun of it was giving people the opportunity to watch the market.
Yeah.
Of Ethereum and dollars and those things. So some people, like right after Russia went into Ukraine, the market tanked, right?
Right.
Well, I get this text at 2 or 3 in the morning that somebody picked up my NFT.
No way.
Yeah, right? So good on them. They get it for dirt cheap because they're playing the game.
Wow.
And I love that opportunity.
Yeah. And you put it out there.
I put it out there.
Right. Oh, that's wild. So yeah, it was cheap. They could get free haircuts for the rest of their life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then they don't have to book online. That's the other thing is you just text Amber on the business line. And I make myself available.
MVP experience right
yes.
there. That's so cool. And so season 2, you did 4 NFTs? Was it 4?
Well, I created like 15 of them.
Okay.
On season 1 and like 10 of them on season 2.
Okay. Yeah, because at some point you're not going to have enough time to cut everyone's.
Yeah, and I think the math for me is like if I sell 8 of them total, that is 4 hours a month.
Oh, gotcha.
That I spend doing NFT haircuts.
Right.
And to me, that's pretty justifiable.
Yeah, that does make sense.
It's a half a work day.
Yeah, and now you have crypto. Yeah.
Now I got crypto,
especially I just watching all the banking stuff happening right now. I'm invested a little bit in crypto as well, and it's nice to have not all eggs in one basket. You know, it's diversified and
spread it out.
Yeah, spread it out. You know, if the banking system fails, I got my NFTs.
Yeah, exactly. So and so I've actually got something here for you.
Oh,
so
no way.
So with buying the haircut NFTs, I wanted to go into
No way.
into NFT projects, and part of that, I wanted to be part of an online community. So it's I love these things called it's Pixel Vault, and this is the Inhabitants universe.
Okay.
This guy, I named him Buzzcut. He's the mascot for the barbershop.
Oh, I love it.
And so I wanted to make a little product line and make a brand and kind of do some of my like crypto and not crypto, but NFT stuff there and be part of that community.
Yeah.
And be like the barber of that online community.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So for like, I don't know, like a year or 18 months, I've been hanging out there in Discord and Twitter with those guys and being part of that and being welcomed into that group is what really brought me out of my shell because one, my judgment of Twitter.
Right.
And what people that tweet a lot 5 years ago coming from Goshen, Indiana.
Yeah.
Is totally different than now being inside of a community.
Inside of Twitter.
Yeah. Because crypto and NFT community is largely digital, right?
Yeah.
And that's just the places they hang out.
Oh, wow.
So I decided, I was like, I want to go hang out there.
Yeah. What's my persona? What's my front face?
Yeah, like how do I get there? And somewhere in there, somebody said you should watch Ready Player One. So I watched Ready Player One, and that like really opened my eyes to like what could be. Yeah. I'm not saying that that's factual by any means, but
right? But we seem to be going more and more that direction.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I'm like, all right, if I want to document digitally, why do I care about? I really care about these people outside of Goshen that I don't even know.
Yeah.
So if I go build relationships with them, then I don't really care what they think.
Right.
Because they're actually my friends now.
Yeah.
And so I went to Twitter and those things, and like I saw these dudes on there, and they always
have these like profiles of
and I'm like, those things are
Bored Ape
badass.
or yacht ape, or what is it? Is it Bored Ape?
The Bored Ape
Yacht
Club.
The Yacht Club, yeah. And so you'll see those like kind of. I see those. I mean, even though people may have just taken them, but that kind of style is just really taking over Twitter.
Yeah.
And you see that all the time. So yeah, and this is your profile pic, right? Or is it similar to that?
Well, so as I got into this, like that was my first one I picked up.
Yeah.
And because I wanted a bald one that looked like me and resonated with me. And then I realized, well, I want him to be his own character.
Right. So he's the mascot.
Yeah. I wanted the Jolly Green Giant of the barbershop.
Yeah.
And
he looks like that, but with a Marvel character. You know what I mean? It's like a Marvel character, the ball. That's so cool.
Yeah. The guy that drew he's Chris Wall.
Okay.
He illustrated for Marvel at some point.
No way.
Yeah. In his career. Yeah. He's a super talented dude out there. And so he drew all these traits, and something that's cool is that those come from a thing called a Mint Pass 1.
Okay.
So think of that as like a baseball pack.
Yeah.
And you will go on to the inhabitants' website, and you would mint a generative identity. So Buzzcut is a generative identity.
Okay.
And when you do that, all of the traits are generated live on chain in the moment.
Oh wow.
So it's like pulling a slot machine.
Yeah.
Where each trait has I think I'm saying this correctly, like a % chance of being rolled.
Oh, okay.
Or minted.
Yeah.
And then it spits out your identity.
Oh wow. So yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah, it is kind of like I play a lot of video games, so sometimes when you open up a pack or whatever, you don't know what you're getting, but it's generated right then, and then the person who probably did the art or the one that created it is getting a cut of that too, which is so cool. That's the one beautiful thing about NFTs is there's a way to kick back that whoever creates it, whoever starts that, gets a little cut of the fees as it goes on.
Yeah, and that's actually something that's kind of big right now. That's just in the past few weeks changed to zero royalties.
Oh,
really? A lot of the marketplaces aren't giving the option to not charge royalties.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so there's a lot there that's above my head.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't speak on because I don't. Yeah. One, I'm not truly an artist that lives off of royalties.
Right.
And
that's fascinating. Yeah, the crypto world just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's the once you get into it.
So let me just show you this here real quick. I guess everybody can't see, but this morning at like 2:22, that identity, somebody put one of those passes into the machine.
Oh wow!
And that was created.
Oh wow, that's crazy. And so that's wild. And so that's your Discord where you can see all that different stuff, whatever community you're part of, or yeah, that's really cool. And so that's how this guy was created, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I did not create him. Like I found him, somebody had him.
Yeah.
And so I had to navigate and then negotiate a trade
to get him. Yeah. And now this is yours. That's so cool. And then now you're partnering with an actual local, this is Soapy Gnome, to make physical soap with it. Like that's the trademark. That's the brand right there too.
Yeah.
So I love that. That's
so the haircut NFTs I rolled into buying Buzzcut.
Okay.
So with Buzzcut, you have all the IP rights.
Yeah.
Like you have ownership of that character and that identity. So I was able to take that to Soapy Gnome and say, hey, I want to create Buzzcut's bar soap. And I want to make it smell like a barber shop and have it be a manly scent. And my aftershave at the barber shop is Bay Rum.
Oh.
It's a classic barbershop scent to me.
Yeah.
And so let's make some Bay Rum barber soap. And then they were able to make it purple and green and colorful and
the colors of your mascot.
Yeah, exactly. So something that's unique to these two is like their backgrounds, the different colors. Backgrounds are the different planets that they're from.
Oh, okay.
Because the Inhabitants universe is a big. It's going to be a game. Oh, game and like a comic book story.
Oh wow!
System where all these identities are from different places. There's heroes and villains and.
Yeah. And then you'll be able to, when you probably play the game, be Buzzcut.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. I understand the skin system. I mean, every video game has skins, and you purchase and path, and you're gambling to get the skins, and if you want a specific skin, you got to pay for it with in-game currency, which makes total sense for crypto and all of that. Just to I had Chad Yoder, who is Michiana Crypto King, on the podcast, and we were talking a little bit about your NFT project and stuff on that podcast, but he was kind of explaining a lot of what the future could be and what it might be, and some of the investment opportunities on some of these, like, you don't know where this will go, but in maybe 10 years, this is the new Fortnite, right? And everyone wants those cryptos, those skins, because you bought them when they're super cheap. They're going to be, I mean, I know, are you familiar with CSGO? Maybe not. It's
I've heard it referenced, but I don't.
It's in Valorant's another one, but they're a video game, and I know CS:GO. I had a buddy who bought skins right when it first came out, and he had thousands of dollars that he spent. At the start, a couple $100 on skins, maybe not even that, maybe $100 tops, and then at the end, he had $6,000-$7,000. 10 years later or 5 years later, because of the need for those skins. No one had them. The player base was so small, and now everyone plays that game and wants those skins, but there's only so many skins that were there.
Yeah.
You see, that's an investment. You don't think about it when you're playing video games, but then later on, you're like, wow, I have money here from just doing something I enjoy.
And that's the thing is, I'm not sure how CSGO works, but like Fortnite, parents and people buy Fortnite
all the time,
and it's never going to leave Fortnite's server.
Right.
Can't take it anywhere.
Yeah.
It's truly digital. These are transferable from people. NFTs are transferable from people to people, and they don't live just within that game system.
Right. It can be anywhere. You have it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so cool.
And so I challenge people to look at it with that lens, and understand that it's more than just a digital picture or a picture of a monkey or this, that, or the other.
Yeah. But the way, and I was just, I'm big into gaming, so that's why this really resonates with me. But I was watching or listening to this guy his name's Dr. Disrespect. So he's an OG gamer. Okay. He just has this persona where he's just like disrespects everyone, and he was talking about in the future, he'd like to see games where in this match, there's going to be a chance for a skin. And if you go in and you get that skin, then you have to extract. But everyone else in that game knows you have $1,000 actual physical $1,000 worth skin. Everyone in that game is going to want to kill you. Like, it makes that game, it puts like
a bounty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the real adrenaline of, man, I need to get this skin that I got in this instance out. So it's in my vault. And I have that $1,000, and there's 100 people out there to kill me right now, and I have to blast through. What I mean? Like, that gets me kind of excited because it makes video gaming is already profitable, but it's like, imagine if I was in there and I was the guy that killed it, and now I have this NFT worth of the skin that no one else has, $1,000, $100,000. Who knows what that level is? It's based on what people want to pay for it. So it's just I'm excited.
Well, and I'm going to share it with you. This so the Inhabitants game that's coming out is called Battle Plan. I shared it on Instagram this morning. I was having a little fun with it. But that the white paper is out Friday.
Oh wow!
And it's going to be on the reboot protocol, which Pixel Vault PV has been incubating.
Okay.
And I think at the base idea is that you can, with your player score and your player rating, it knows where you're at, and you can go in and put how much you're willing to wager.
Oh wow.
And what difficulty and how far above your level you want to play.
Okay.
And if you win, the reward is proportionate to the risk.
Oh wow.
That you took.
So you go harder, and maybe it's double what you put in a triple, and if it's just normal mode, it's it pays a 1-to-1 or something, what I mean? Or
yes.
1 to 1.5 or something.
Yeah, and somehow the protocol, back to the airplane flying, and I don't care how, but somehow it balances all those and works the percentages and the payouts of what they should be.
Oh yeah, house always wins. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's it's community ran.
Yeah.
Where it's the players, it's an even playing field.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not going to the mob bosses.
Because it's player versus player, and the protocol is just a machine that match makes between the two
to see what your level is, and that's cool. Yeah.
So if you say I want to take on Dr. Disrespect and his bag,
right,
and he's 10 times my level,
right,
I'm going to wager
this
to
get to that,
and you get it. Then you obtain that basically like layer 2 token or prize.
Right. And then now that's in you, and your probably level goes up because you killed them, all that stuff, right?
Yes.
But yeah, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, dude, that's fast, and we're living in that world. Like those are stuff we're doing I mean, people are playing video games. People are in the digital world. I love that you're making that connection with your barbershop too, a physical thing that you're also creating digital. You know, that's such a cool way to bridge that gap. You're doing season 2? You're probably always thinking about how to do that. I mean, even with this bar soap that you gave me, it's, you know, NFT, that's your mascot, but it's also a physical thing people can buy. And I love the merge of it. Can you buy this with crypto? That's someday.
Like if someone would get a hold of me and say, hey, I want to buy some soap and I'll have his crypto, I'd be like, all right, send it over. I'll mail it to you. And it's been like, so the NFT community, right, is mainly international. So later today I get to go and figure out how to mail some of that over, yeah, over to England. And that was part of this. So I was like, maybe my local community doesn't care at all about Buzzcut's NFT bar soap, but there's a lot of people
who think this is sweet.
Who they think it's sweet.
Yeah.
And why not just have some fun with it and show the world what you can do with this?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to sit in Discord and say, why aren't people doing this or why aren't people doing that to help this project along?
Right.
And I don't know, people tell me I buy some stupid picture and I want to show what can be done with that.
Right. Oh, that is so cool. I love that, man. That is so cool.
And then like, okay, so I shouldn't say nothing's original, but we all get ideas from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So are you aware of Doug's Sports Cut?
Yes.
Okay. So I went there a couple of times, got my hair cut, and I thought it was always cool that Doug's Sports Cut had his baseball set up in the dugout for the waiting area, and that he got into Sports Illustrated for having this card shop and barber shop.
Yeah.
So as I was doing the cards in 2017, I thought, man, here we go, Doug's Sports Cut. Well, now I pivoted a little bit with the NFTs because why can't I be Doug Sports Cut?
But NFT.
Yeah, NFTs.
Yeah.
And that's who I am. That's what I like.
Yeah.
And now that I'm in Scott's, I feel like at home. I'm not going anywhere. So it's easy to really focus on
that atmosphere now.
Yeah, that atmosphere, and knowing that I'm cutting here and there. That's where I'm at. Yeah. And now I can actually share in my hobbies.
Yeah.
And this NFT thing is something I'm passionate about.
Yeah. That's great. And it came from a conversation too. It came from the barbershop in a way.
Right. Absolutely.
No, it's part of part of who you, it is a hobby. It's a group you're connected with. It's grown from that. The seed was planted and now it's a way bigger.
Yeah. And it's because of the barbershop that I'm able to view it the way that I view it.
Yeah.
Because I have people that they are hunters, or they're exercise, or they're actors, or they're musicians. And I saw that it's all groups. And it's all things people do with their time with groups of people. Well, for me, I want to be at home with my family.
Yeah. And
it's easier for me to connect digitally with another group of...
And physically going someplace to do,
Right.
Yeah.
And so this isn't a shot on anyone, but for me, I would rather stay at home, and maybe my attention isn't there completely all the time.
Yeah.
But physically, I can be brought there a lot more than if I'm
out hunting
for
4 days in the backcountry of who knows where, right?
Or at the dance studio, or at the VFW, or like wherever.
Right.
I'm there, and it's something that I can just maintain pretty easily, and that's fun to me. And I'm realizing that I'm a nerd, right? Like I grew up coming home and getting on America Online with the dial-up and doing those things and becoming
AOL, instant messenger.
Exactly. So when I go to Discord, that's what similar.
Yeah.
So that nostalgia kind of takes me there, and it's fun to just now hang out with these people from all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
and they have like minds, and you can have conversations, and they're supporting you. That's really cool too. If it's cool, I want to ask a couple questions about the barbershop and just like what's that like? I mean, you're interacting with people all the time, right? And you're hearing stories, you're hearing different things. What's that been like? You know, I feel like a big part of you do the cut, but it's also your personality. And so you have to have conversations, or sometimes you don't. At times, people want to come in and just don't want to talk, just get their hair cut. Like, what's that like?
That's generally I'm a talker.
Yeah.
So I just talk, and I'm sure that I annoy some people by just talking.
Yeah.
And I've joked about this, and I need to just put intention to it, but I should offer a haircut service that is quiet, no talking. Yeah. So for me, I would know that I am serving that person
By doing that.
Yeah. Because people don't want to tell me to not talk to them.
Yeah.
There's not a way to frame that.
We live in Goshen. No one's going to be rude to your face.
Yeah, exactly.
And they may say it to their friends behind your back, but they'll never say it to your face.
Right. Yeah. And generally, nobody's going to come in the barbershop and just say, hey, dude, I don't know how to say this, but don't talk to me.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
that's not good.
It doesn't go like that.
Yeah.
But if I would have put it out there, I think I would be surprised with how that would get booked.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I talk. I like to know people. So,
yeah.
You know, I listen, like Joe Rogan is a master at interviewing people and getting to know people. And I'm driving back and forth to barber school, a lot of podcast time, right?
Oh, that's perfect.
So I'm like, okay, how do I get to know people? And I realize that people are so interesting and into so much different stuff.
Yeah.
And I just try to ask questions.
Get them talking.
Yeah. Get to know them and see what they're into and see what their hobbies are.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're probably learning so much from that too. Because you literally, I mean, you spend half an hour with them, and over a period of time, you know, you can build on that. You know what their interests are and stuff, but then you can ask them other questions, start probing and learning more. And yeah, that's fascinating.
It is. And it's, yeah, as people start to come, you build relationships with them and the conversations go different places. And
yeah,
or sometimes they don't, and sometimes they just
fizzle out. Yeah.
It's just interesting. We have different people, and it's really energies. And I don't know if it's a blessing or what it is, but I guess I run a lot on energy, or I feel like I can feel a person's energy.
Yeah.
Through that.
Yeah. You can probably discern, like, and I'm, you know, in spending so much time with people too, you may spend a lot of time with that one person. I bet you can feel when their day's off, or if something's going on or something like that, because they're not interacting the way that they typically do or whatnot.
Yeah. And, you know, vice versa also.
Oh, yeah.
And that's for me with the way that we run our business and with the way I've been trying to focus on, like, especially, I would rather have less relationships. I'd rather have a barbershop that wasn't just busy and full of people, and have a different business that supported my family than to have a barbershop that I was just constantly at serving the entire community.
Right.
Right? Like, I'd rather be somebody for a few people than a person for everyone.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
And I guess the easiest way for me to share that is that I take over the old Scott's barbershop that was walk-in for 56 years. And I'm open on days that they weren't open before Wednesdays. They were never open.
Yeah.
I get people walking in on Wednesdays all the time that used to go to Scott's that are unaware that it's a Wednesday, right? And that shop normally wasn't open that day.
Right.
So they're disappointed that I'm not taking their walk-in on a day that the shop was never open to begin with.
Right.
So how much about that business did they even know, or that person did they know?
Right.
It was just a place in town that they could go to get something that they wanted.
Yeah.
When they wanted it.
Yeah, it's just a transaction. It was just
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I can...
It's like a gas station. You know what I mean? You
yes.
Fill up and then you're done. You know, I don't have a particular gas station that I love. You know, yeah, Yeah,
and if we can budget our time with haircuts, and I can figure out a different way, and eventually, hopefully I can be the barber, you know, that hasn't changed price in 15 years.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have to.
Right.
And I didn't want to do any more people anyway.
Yeah. You got the group. And then it's almost like your barbershop could be like a hangout spot where you enjoy it, not like a go and work all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where you can really start to feel the energy for different people, because even the people then get used to seeing one another.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a group. Yeah. That's very cool. Well, I know I see, people always coming in and they're not happy with your prices.
No, and it's
like, yeah, I don't know what Scott was charging, but it sounded like he was not charging enough.
no, I think it was like 18.
Okay.
18, 19 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm at 30, and that's a lot for some people, and it's different than what they're used to.
Yeah.
And it just,
oh man.
but at the same sense, it's perfect for.
Yeah. It's a good price for right now.
I feel like it is.
Yeah, I think that's
It works,
fair.
and I do my best to be on time, and
Yeah.
what you give up in price, you gain in your schedule.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to be there for an hour and a half when you only want to be there for half an hour.
No, and that's the business part that has been fun. I've got a guy, Ivan Zoot, which has been a barber mentor to me.
Oh, very cool.
That I found on YouTube, and then over the years, I built a relationship with him, and he's like personally guided me through some things. And,
No way.
Yeah, and he really showed me the business side of haircutting and the systematic side of haircutting. You'd mentioned that promo I had about refer one person and get a free haircut.
Yeah.
When I started that with something I got from him, was that every one person a client or a customer gives to you, give them a free haircut.
Yeah.
Because that ultimately, if you do your job, that's going to build the clientele.
Yeah.
And absolutely it did, because what do? You get some real high school kids that pay for one haircut, and then they want to get all the free haircuts. So they get 12 other buddies
Yeah.
to give you, to get in, so they get 12 free haircuts, 12 marks on the board, right?
Yeah.
If those 12 buddies stick around and don't bring you anybody,
Yeah.
boom.
Money right there. Yeah. Returning value.
Yeah.
Some stick, some don't, but that's marketing.
Exactly.
That's sales. That's how it goes. Yeah.
And it just rolls on itself. And then he showed a system of when to raise your prices and how to set up your schedule. And those were the building blocks to me that made sense.
Yeah.
And I learned it from him, and it works. And that's where it has really given us the freedom, and me the freedom to live the life I want to now.
Yeah, you're setting the systems in place to make your life easier and for your clients as well. Like, you have a good system out there where you can see what your schedule is and when to book and things like that. And then you have your assistant or partner.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and Amber, and that's where Amber's really the key, because she's a mom and she does a great job of. She might see a family with an appointment in between, and she goes, "Well, that's dumb. Why would they have to wait in between?" And so let's do some legwork to get the dad and the son together, so they can make one trip to town. Boom. Their schedule's easier, and that's the type of stuff I want to do. Yeah. I don't know that Timmy gets off of school at 3:30, so we can't ever book him at 4.
Right.
It's always got to be 4:30.
Yeah.
And we set it up that way, and we just make sure, because haircuts they're fun and they're a necessity, but at the same time, it's like drill weekend. They're not convenient sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it's a couple hours of our day, we don't have that.
Yeah.
And if we can alleviate for people, it makes me feel good, and
it makes them return.
Yeah.
Returning, they feel like you actually care. You're not just like a utility that they use.
Yeah, because without those people, I'm nothing.
Right.
None of this works without those people.
Right.
So I'd rather take care of the people that are taking care of me.
Yeah.
Than try to be something for everybody.
Yeah, I see that. That's crazy. Yeah, that's a really good a good perspective to have. I think people will catch that, like that they feel that. Your clients know that. There's a reason why you said 50 returning, monthly or every 2 to 6 weeks or whatever. Yeah, that's a reason why you have that. They have that relationship, and they're like, yeah, DJ cares, or the Concrete Barber team cares.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. What do you plan on being at Scott's for a while? Is that kind of now that you're in that spot?
Yeah, I would say that's the plan where I want to be, and I don't see myself really moving.
Yeah,
and also I don't see myself adding anyone.
Yeah,
either in there. It's just a place I think I can be and do some of the other business ventures.
Yeah,
that I want to do. Because I don't want to become busy at the barbershop, and I don't want to continue to raise the price, because that also comes with a level of service.
Yeah.
Right. And if my passion is not becoming the best hair cutter, I don't need to be at a price
that reflects that.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, if you're gonna raise your price, you got to do like a free shot or
like something,
beers
right?
on tap or something.
Yeah, and it goes back to serving those people. I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up the people that I have.
Yeah.
And I want to find my buoyancy here and Scott's allows me to do that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's the? I mean, we're raging, which is great. I have a couple questions if that's cool, and then we can wrap it up if that works. What do you think the future is? Where do you see yourself in like 5 years or 10 years?
I would like to be traveling. Our goal is to be traveling and homeschooling our daughter.
Oh, very cool.
On the road, right? If we're going to be learning about the Grand Canyon,
let's go and see it.
Let's go see the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And my goal would be, and what I'm working towards is to build a business that will support me to do that. That I can leave the barbershop for a set amount of time, and those repeating people are the people that I'm making sure I take care of. And outside of that, I don't have to turn the chair to support myself or pay for it.
Yeah.
And then I can, along the way, give haircuts and
it's a skill.
Yeah, like there's the Vic Blends guy that gives the haircuts out in the park and gets those great messages out.
Yeah.
I would love to do that on the road on the way to wherever we're going.
Yeah.
Because that's the fun.
That's cool.
The conversation and all the things out of it. But I can't do that if I got to spin the chair to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And I built the life around the barbershop.
Right.
So that's
the future.
Yeah, my daughter's 5, so she would be 10. So 5 years. I mean.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah, to be out there, and that's cool. Do you see your shop becoming like digital? Like literally, I walk in and I just feel like I'm in this planet when I'm in your shop, or no?
Yeah. I those NFT frames aren't necessarily cheap, so it's hard to get. I've got one of them for Christmas. Everybody in my life hooked me up with that, and that was really nice.
That's cool.
So you can see them from the sidewalk now rolling.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, from the sidewalk, I got a frame that has all the NFTs that I want to display from the inhabitants out there rolling. And yeah, if we could create more experiences like that, absolutely. I want to be the NFT barbershop.
Yeah.
I want to be on my other account is the Blockchain Barber.
Oh, there you go.
So Buzzcut's Twitter account is Blockchain Barber.
Okay.
And that's kind of where we're having some fun there with that. And yeah, I would
that and working in that. That's cool. That's really cool.
Right. So as the NFT world, it'd be fun to put Goshen on the map in some capacity through NFTs.
Yeah, drive business just because of that. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I want to go check out this barber. I've seen him on the metaverse or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Let's actually go to that place and
Oh yeah, or even just like digitally. Yeah. We have like I don't know, an online store of some capacity.
Yeah. Yeah, so they can go get their bars of soap or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Cool. I'm out of questions. Is there anything you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
Hey, VCon is in Indianapolis.
Oh, really?
May 18th through the 20th.
Okay.
So that's something I would like to go down to and take a couple steps in that. Yeah. Like towards creating that environment and.
Well, that's is that Gary Vaynerchuk?
Yeah, Gary Vaynerchuk. Yeah, he'll be there.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
So that'd be sweet. And I think G Funk, the guy that founded this project, the Inhabitants and Pixel Vault,
he'll be there. As
well. He'll be there. I saw his name on the list, so it'd be cool to go down there.
That's all your hobbies starting to emerge into one spot.
Yeah, it is, and it's cool to see them start coming together and it being real. And like that frame I spoke about, that has been one of the best things to me NFTs, because people see it on the wall. They're like, what is that? Well, that's my NFT.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's kind of cool.
Starts opening up a conversation.
Yeah.
What is this? What is that? How'd you get into this? How did that go? Yeah.
It's something different than just this thing on your phone.
Right. Yeah. Take a look at this. Right. Yeah. No, you can actually see the digital art there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so it's been a lot of fun in that way.
That's so sick.
It's cool that way.
Yeah. I love that, man. Well, it's cool. I for listeners at home, you need to go check out your social media just to see all the stuff you're posting. You do a ton of stuff on Twitter, on Instagram, and I appreciate the content. It's always cool to see what's happening in your life.
TikTok. YouTube Shorts. I've been doing a lot of YouTube Shorts. Yeah, those have been fun just to play around there and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you probably creating one piece of content, you can post it multiple different ways.
Yeah, because
see where it sticks.
Yeah, and like I'd watch Gary do that, and as I've been last year, I said I'm going to create content, and for a whole year, I was trying to do 4 TikToks a day.
Oh wow!
And that account got totally taken down at some point.
No way, really?
Yeah, because I think I just wasn't following any of the rules. I had music going in the background, or I was probably driving and doing stuff like that I shouldn't have been doing. Yeah. And it was good because it taught me 2 lessons. Not to like create your content yourself in house and then distribute it.
Yeah.
Instead of just creating it on the platform, because then it's gone completely.
Oh yeah.
And then 2, I took a lot of lessons of some probably really bad content that is now gone.
Yeah.
And I take those lessons and create this way. So now I create them in-house and just push them out all the different socials. So it's just been fun to go to YouTube Shorts and like create there. And that's been a lot of the barbershop stuff. And
yeah, just kind of your journey.
Yeah.
It's all coming together. Yeah, that's really sweet. Where can people find you?
So on all the socials, it'll be Concrete Barber.
Okay.
TikTok is going to be Concrete is going to be spelled C0.
Okay.
Because I got the
yeah.
But Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Concrete Barber.
Very cool.
YouTube, Concrete Barber, and then there's concretebarber.com.
Oh, very. Yep.
Is our website where you can book haircut appointments, and then we have also got an online store where you can order buzz cuts, bar soap, or a couple other soaps from Soapy Gnome.
Very cool.
And some hair products from Samson's Pomade, which they're up in Kalamazoo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're in the barber shop, just like me, and they make hair products. And we met them, and that's one of our favorite products in the shop there.
Yeah, so, I think I've seen you post a couple times.
Yeah, it's cool because there's a couple guys like us doing their thing.
Yeah, and trying to get out past the local piece, which it sounds like they are.
Yeah,
which is very cool. Yeah, I'll post all those in the notes on the episode, so if listeners want to just click, it'll be linked.
Okay,
so you can find it. But yeah, Concrete Barber all over. DJ, man, thanks for coming on and telling your story. And
thank you for having me.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I appreciate the sub too. So
you're welcome.
All right, guys, we'll catch you later. Peace.
Hey, bye.